morning. It is Sunday, October the 12th, and we are getting ready to go out on a hike and watching the sunrise and the cool color of the sun hitting the clouds. And of course, these billboards and lights. Can't wait to get away from all of this out into nature. We are going to Scarce O'Fat Trail in the Yellowwood State Forest in Indiana, around the Nashville, Bloomington area, in between Nashville and Bloomington, I believe. So, but enjoying the sky. It'd be nice if we didn't have the billboards, but the sky looks really, really awesome. And that creamy, steamy, toasty stuff will kill you from McDonald's. So cool. I hope the camera's getting the vibrant colors like we're actually seeing. So, we'll talk to you later when we get there. Bye. Getting closer to our destination. No billboards. Trees and trees and trees.
Well, we just arrived at the parking lot for Scarce O'Fat Trail in the Yellowwood State Forest. You have to forgive the heavy breathing because I just walked to the top of a hill to get a view of the dam and the Yellowwood lakes. So this is Yellowwood Lake at the top of the dam. Beautiful, absolutely just indescribable. The trees are changing colors, and so this is what it looks like. Down that gravel, at the end of that around the curve of that gravel road, is where the trailhead begins, and we'll be proceeding there momentarily. And so I'm going to go back on down the hill, and we'll pick this up back again when we get to the trail. Here we are. It's Sunday, October the 12th, 2014. Laura and I are at the Scarce O'Fat Trail, just about 8 miles south of Nashville, Indiana, right off State Road 46. It's 45 degrees. The humidity is probably about midpoint because it's neither very cold nor is it warm and moist. So I'm going to flip the camera around and for record purposes showing the beginning of the trailhead here. So Scarce O'Fat Trail 4-mile loop begins here.
The diamonds on the trees.
And yeah, we'll be looking for the diamonds on the trees. So here we go. We've got the camera on the end of our tripod. This is the first time we've done it this way. So fortunately, Laura will be able to edit the film, and when we put it on YouTube and then upload it to our Who's Your Hiker channel. And if you're seeing this, be sure to subscribe to the Who's Our Hiker channel. We would appreciate it. That value here is called a bear bell, even though there's really no bears in the area.
You're going to scare everything away.
People are hunting, and so we do have orange tags on our backpacks. I got an orange bandana around my neck. Laura's got on an orange boonie hat, and then we have the bear bell. So taking all the necessary safety precautions that we can. And stand by here, I'll flip the camera around so you can actually see what we're seeing. Still early enough in the year, we still have a very heavy canopy of foliage. The trail is very easy to see, and we're going to take our time on this one. This is only a 4 to 4.5 mile loop, so we're going to do some experimenting with the video. The rough version you obviously won't see. It'll be edited, but you'll see the good end. And that will be posted on the Hoosier Hiker channel, available on YouTube, sometime between today and Tuesday. If you stop for a moment, I'll give you a pan of what we're actually seeing here. We're down in a very shallow ravine right now. We're on top of a very small ridge, so.
Check out this. Look, the twine around the tree.
You see things like,
Yeah, see that? That looks cool.
how these vines just wrap themselves around the tree. Last week at Low Gap Trail down near Martinsville,
Got ferns,
there were ferns, as well as
moss.
there was some vines that were big around as my arms that were hanging down from trees. So we're actually going up an incline at the moment, and basically right from the start, when you start at the trailhead, this trail immediately goes into an uphill mode. Laura is back there. So it's not like I'm leaving her. I apologize for the labored breathing, but this is a pretty steep climb, and naturally even an athlete will get out of breath a little bit. Let me flip the camera around so you can stop just staring at me walking and see what we're looking at. We had to stop a minute for Laura to delayer, and then I wanted to flip the camera around so that I could hold it against my body with the tripod instead of holding it the way I was holding. It was very awkward. Perfect hiking weather. We did see some camp. We went to the forest office to use the restrooms, and then on the way there, between the trailhead and those restrooms, were some camping sites that we might try. At some point. Now the object would be, in my way of thinking, is that we find us a campsite that we can use and then hike on a trail that we've not been on before. Instead, because I don't want to have to hike the same trail twice, because there's so many to choose from here in Indiana, in our own back yard, that I don't want to do the same thing twice just for the sake of for camping. We're finally starting to top out at the top of this ridge here. Excuse the bouncing, but I had it braced against my body, and I could see that it was bouncing a little bit, so I pulled it off. I'm holding the tripod by the legs now. Trail's clearly marked. A pathway I'm referring to. And then we're also seeing the diamonds on the tree, so we know we're going in the right direction. I believe currently that we're headed north-northwest. This trail's rated at strenuous. I've yet to see that. Low Gap Trail is also rated at strenuous. I would not rate that at strenuous at all. Now, if you're talking about distance, yeah, that's a 10-mile loop. If you're talking about the terrain changes, the terrain that you have to walk over, and such things, then I would consider Low Gap Trail as being moderate. Yes, there were elevation changes. There's going to be on any trail, but it was by no means, and that was the only strenuous part about it. So it was enjoyed it, but then of course highly recommend it. As you can see up here, if you look in the upper right hand corner, you see the diamonds. That indicates from the trailhead that this is the Scarce O'Fat Trail. And we found out about this trail by a book that we bought at REI. REI stands for Recreational Equipment Incorporated, and locally they are based out of Castleton, Indiana, behind the Castleton Mall next to Golf Galaxy. If you're looking to get into hiking, if you're looking for high quality biking equipment, mountain climbing equipment, or things of that nature, then go to REI. The book we found and we purchased there for under $20 was a book called Hiking Indiana. It's a Falcon guidebook. And so we will be perusing the book, and every weekend, notwithstanding pouring down rain or heavy snow predicted, we'll be hiking a new trail every weekend, and then posting it on the Hoosier Hiker channel. Slight elevation back down in a little pool. And back out again. And as I said in the last video, we are experimenting with the video and learning tips and tricks as we go along, things to do, things not to do. And as we progress in the course of time, the videos will get better, the dialogue will get better, and it'll provide for greater enjoyment. And from the point that we are to the base of the ridge is, I would say 80 to 100 feet up, but it is a steep climb to the base of this, to the bottom of this ridge here. So this is kind of what we're looking at. That's the direction we'll be going here momentarily. And at this point, this is what we're seeing. I just walked up to the top of this little crest because it looked like there was a big clearing. And when I got up there, I found that, yeah, there's a clearing, but it's too distant for me to get a good shot with the video camera. So I'm coming back down the hill. And right here along the trail, if the camera will do it justice, is a nice ravine down through here. A lot of deadfall. And I suspect if we got some extremely heavy rain, that this would be a torrent coming down through here. Now this is not a creek, this is just where over the course of time that nature and rain and falling debris and so forth have cut this ridge or this little canyon down off the side of the trail. But we're going to press on. Now there's a channel that I would highly recommend on YouTube that is hosted by a gentleman named Luke out of western North Carolina, northwestern North Carolina, called the Outdoor Gear Review. Highly recommend it. He's highly experienced, been doing this kind of thing for years, and gives good in-depth reviews of equipment, places, and so forth. And I was watching him the other day, and he stated that a lot of people will have their own YouTube channels and do this type of thing, and they'll get a piece of equipment in, and they'll immediately say, well, we're going to do a review on it. And he raised the question, how can you do a review when you just got something in the mail? You just got a piece of equipment. You need to test it. You need to put it through its paces. And then you can do a proper review. Because if people are going to buy some equipment based upon your recommendation, it just makes sense that you would give that piece of equipment an adequate review, so that if they get a good scope on what you've been testing. And so Laura and I picked up some inexpensive equipment at Walmart, and in the course of time we're going to be doing a review on some of those things, because it doesn't take a great deal of money to get out and hiking like this and enjoy it. So we'll do the review on that equipment, and if you want to start hiking and do something similar to this, you can do so without spending a lot of money. Now, in the course of time, we are going to be putting out some serious money for some equipment if we're doing 1 or 2 night hikes and staying out in the woods. But so
there's another ravine off to your left.
And here's another ravine. I'll try and raise the camera up a little bit. It's kind of hard to see. You see that one tree crossing across the picture. The ravine drops off at that point and goes down much steeper than the one we just previously were showing you. Let's check out this these mushrooms that we just walked up on. They're all around the base of this dead tree. Pretty interesting. I don't know what kind of tree it is or what kind of mushrooms, but it's kind of unusual to see these brightly orange colored mushrooms. Nice place for a big timber rattler to get in and settle down and rest a little bit. Here's your snake eye level. Well, raccoon level. Now we've seen no indication that this trail would be rated strenuous, but that's
probably just because of the elevations climbing up, because we've stopped a couple of times.
But for the most part, it's just like this right here. Any elevation changes are just elevation changes of 5 feet or less to
They're
flat.
not high, steep, but they are long. They're not steep elevations, they're just
But,
long.
yeah, we're not the ones rating the trail, so
I read somewhere it's marked strenuous because of the elevation changes and the length of the trail. So I don't know. This is, what is this one?
This is
5 miles?
this is 4.5 miles.
So I don't know if anything above 5 miles helps to give it a strenuous rating, but there are definitely some elevations, not steep, but they're long, slight long elevations.
Walk up on this dead tree here. This tree goes up into the canopy. This tree is well over 100 feet tall, and even though it's graveyard dead, it still poses a tremendous amount of weight. And we walked up onto it. I'm looking down, making sure I don't walk up on any timber rattlesnakes, whatever you call them.
Timber rattlesnakes.
Anyway, check out the base of this tree. How much is left over? I could probably push it over, but I'm not going to. I'll let it naturally fall over, but it's being held up by just that little amount of wood. And this tree towers to well over 100 feet tall. Interesting. Did you see that fox? See it? It's right there, right in the middle of the screen. It's moving, it's moving. There's a fox in the woods. got an orange hat on. This fox is picking up acorns. I didn't know foxes ate acorns. We've now reached the place where the Scarce O'Fat Trail meets the service road. We're about almost a mile and a half in, somewhere in that vicinity.
Yeah, 1.7 miles. We were on Bill Jack Ridge. And now we're going on to Scarce O'Fat Ridge.
I don't necessarily know how far this goes, but this is where the trail picks up. And we'll go to a point,
About a mile.
and we will make a sharp left-hand turn to make the long descent
Down into Caldwell Hollow.
down into Caldwell Hollow, and from there back to the parking
High
lot.
King Hill and then to the parking lot.
Okay, folks, we've reached the junction of the Tecumseh Trail, which is a 42-miler. I would really like to do that one. We would take about a week to do that one. And the Scarce O'Fat's to our left, so to our left we go. Oh, did you see that fox that just ran by?
Nuh-uh.
Right there.
You're not right. I'm looking for a fox.
We walked on the service road for, half a mile. And that's the drawback to some trails. You end up on a service road, and there has to be service roads because the maintenance staff needs to get in here and do things. But it'd be better if they had blazed a trail so you're never out on the service road. It just takes away from the whole experience. So let me show you something here for Indiana hikers. You see the diamond on the tree? That represents the Scarce O'Fat Trail, or whatever trail you may be on, may be represented by the white diamond. That hash mark represents the Tecumseh Trail. Now we're starting we're up on a ridge, kinda. We're starting a gradual descent downward. Descents are usually down. I've never seen the descent go upward.
And when you come out to a forest like this, there's no fee. Like your state parks, you have to pay a $5 fee to get into the state park. There's absolutely no fee to come into the state forest. They're run by the DNR, Department of Natural Resources, and there's no fee. But there's no bathrooms or running water either.
Oops, who knew you would find such a beautiful creature right here in the woods?
Where? Okay, already.
Right there.
Okay.
Scarce O'Fat Trail ends. Scarce O'Fat Trail ends right there. We make a left. Now we're going back down this service type road to the parking lot. Then what we're going to do is we're going to go up on top of that hill by Yellowwood Lake, throw down a tarp, and rest a bit and eat some beans. Drink some water. So it is 1:15. It took us 3 hours and 25 minutes. But we were taking our time.
Yep, we
If
stopped
we-
and I got some geodes.
If we were on the pace that we were last Sunday, we would have been done a long time ago. But that was a 10-miler, and there's not a lot of time to, unless you're camping out, to sit and mess around. And
That's where we started.
that's where we began. Wasn't that bad. There was some really interesting places when you get down into Caldwell Hollow. It was just this, you're still out in the woods, heavy canopy, but it was just seemed to be different. So we'll come back to you momentarily.
Okay, I found some rocks. This one right here is a geode. We're going to crack it open when we get home. It should have crystals in it, or quartz in it. And these are smaller geodes. And I'm not sure if that's one or not. I also found a piece of wood here. It's cut off at the bottom. And I'm going to see if maybe we can make a clock or something out of that. Put a clock face on it. So this are my treasures from this adventure. And Mark was complaining about carrying that rock right there. I carried the rest of it though. I carried those rocks. Oh, and check out this rock here. It's got some type of, I don't know if you could see them, fossils on it. So, anyway, those are my treasures, and we are going to get ready and go up on the, I guess this is what you call a dam. There's a lake on the other side, and you can see there's people up there. But we're going to go up there and have something to eat. Okay. So, it was a fun walk. We're up on top of the hill here. There's the truck. And this is our view. We're going to sit up here and have lunch. And our lovely tarp that we bring to sit on for lunches. So now I'm going to join Mark.